Det lukker jeg ikke det.
Lærer du er vant til et kurs og lærer i sengen. Ja. Ekstra vatt. Ekstra.
You've been wonderful here, and
He didn't know what was going on going up.
well, there's a point where we'll get to the top and we'll look down and we'll go.
Passerer noen bekker og litt forskjellig da, og myrer og sånn, ja. God dag.
Jeg kommer på TV.
Han skal vi hilse på.
Ja. Hæ?
Ja, kom her.
Hei.
Kom opp i går. Ja.
Lenger ned enn vanlig. Så det ble litt sånn ekstra fint.
Morning, Eric. Good morning. Good morning.
Jeg tror det her er engangsskole også, Snorre. Det er det. Så du får liksom sett liksom hvordan det fungerer da.
Nei, jeg har kaldt farene, så går jeg som regel oppover.
33 hadde så vel da, og ikke igjen. Ja, det er ikke det høye, men den var disponert.
Nei, ikke denne veien. Jeg har gått andre.
Og så var kongen?
Ja. Har du?
Nei.
Nei. Nei, jeg har vært til en hytte flere ganger, men ikke denne.
Jeg er ikke sikker.
Kom opp i går kveld.
Jeg ser du har fått pusten igjen i hvert fall. Bare lønning.
Say hi.
Hi.
God morgen.
Good morning.
Litt lettere dette da. Ja.
Høstatom.
Det lovlig opp her.
Ja.
Kjekt at det er så mye folk som kommer.
Ja. Jeg skulle nesten tro det var ekspressen fra Oslo som var landet nede her.
Det var en som spurte om dette her var sånn som vi gjorde årlig. Så går den turen her.
Det sa ikke du flere ganger på året
Jo,
nå.
det før. Før var det jo fast maks.
Ja. Jeg har visst fått beskjed om at jeg er snøkende.
Han puster han også.
Han puster. Han skal komme først nå og begynne å filme opp.
Bare det tar mulighet til å gå inn og så skifte.
Der holder de på med
Hvordan er det kan få pusten igjen og alt det samme?
Det er jo fredag, det er lagt opp gang, men det var jo sånn at de sier
Her er det best å gå. Her er det, ja. Og det gjorde når vi merket når vi snappet av. Helt etter det her. Jeg synes det er mest slippet år her. Hvis det er noe som trenger i hånd, så...
Oi, takk.
Det går fint. Det er å gå bort her. Ja, det er nettopp her. Har jeg funnet det så sleip på de steinene?
Ja, for de under 90 så tror jeg det er bedre å gå andre vei.
Under 90.
Jeg sto i kjeften hele veien.
Ja, det var det jeg skulle si.
This way. Kom her, Tore. Vi har nå gått opp her noen ganger.
Ja, det er
Derfor har vi alltid vært
Ja. Vet du hva, jeg tror det er et tilbake en tur er farlig.
Gå til høyre her.
Den her er... Kjem nå. Okay. Ja,
Ja, jeg må det. Det er like godt. Ja, da er det bedre å gå der. Steik og slekt. Så lager du den. Thank you. Så.
Gå ned der. Ned der.
Men det er flott med kavaler i løypen.
Kan vi gå til høyre der?
Jeg synes ikke du tipper ned nå. På deg. Ja, nei, det kan bra. Bare det med deg. Jeg står her og tar folk på ned.
Jeg skal ha fine paparazzi oppe i skogen. Kamera.
Ja, men det var det.
Det er ikke billig å filme meg oppe i skogen. Det er bedre at jeg gjør det lite puff.
Det er seg. Naturfotografi.
Jeg tror ikke han filmer oss.
Du har sjansen nå.
Du må bare filme meg, sånn at jeg har bevis på at jeg har vært her. Ja.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Du er nesten på pinesko. Du reagerte god her. Ja, det er det. Ja, det er vi ikke så gamle heller. Nei, det er det. Jeg måtte... Og derfor ikke går de kommer der. Nei. Når vi vipper meg ut.
Han ble jo stått på slutten og blodomløp, men da når han begynte å blåne, så setter vi en varmeovn og blåste på han.
Men sånn er ikke han her.
Ja, men ikke så mye nå.
Han er snart oppe her.
Nei, han er med av og til, men jeg tar trappa ned noe.
Ja, ja.
Botnahytta. Oi, kamera.
Hva er det noe?
Dette var hardt å dra opp. Det var en sånn smule.
Nå er det ikke mye igjen.
Det var da bakskuten.
Nå er det bakskuten, ja.
Det er bra.
Ja.
Ja da.
Kommer vi på TV?
Jeg har fått alle med.
Eller er vi?
Du får vel vi forteller det på filmen nå, så vi kommer til det samme.
Hvor mange tror du...
Det var 157, var ikke det herifra?
Det er bra, det.
Det er veldig bra, det.
Ja, da.
Ja, det skal bli folksomt på hytta i dag.
Ja,
Det
vi
var like
satt,
mye fra his i år, hvis ikke det var mer.
for å si det sånn, så satt vi der inne og drakk kaffe her for 3 uker siden, og jeg og vi på turlaget noen, også Mats. Og det var diskutert, hvis vi fikk 100 mennesker rundt denne hytta, da ble vi glad.
Og i dag tror jeg vi blir borte i 300. Jeg snakket med en som kom fra Samlanger, og hadde aldri gått denne veien. Hun ville gå opp der, og så ville hun gå ned igjen i Samlanger.
Ja.
Det var så mye biler der inne, sa hun.
Du holder festen på din mage.
Ja, det er det.
Ja. Ja, det er jo ikke noe nytt.
Definitely not me.
My mum would always say that.
Han la ut kartet, det var så godt, men det går så tregt. Arvid? Hei. Har det gått så langt? Ja, det er en stor gruppe, vet du, så det er litt til og fra. Men det ser ut som det går bra, og opp der bratt i bakken så har jo det gått kjempefint. Alle har kommet seg opp uten skader eller noe. Litt tung i pusten noen, men det skal levere. Der som folk sitter, der ligger Botnahytta ut på det neset. Hvor lenge bodde de her?
Oppegående til det. Ja, det har jo vært
Absolutt. Nei, jeg vet ikke.
Det er mer for å trene.
Det er mail og telefon.
Verdens navler.
Ja, du fikk ikke renne med deg, Svein.
Jo da, men sa det nei.
Det fikk ikke du lov til.
Ok, såpass.
Hei, hei.
Vi begynte å ete de. Det er gøy, det.
Vi får med Jon denne gangen, tror jeg. Før han ramler. Jeg har reist meg før, jeg får gå på det. Ramler har reist meg igjen.
Hvis det er stygg på håret, så må du bare slette det. Får du oss med, Ole Vidar?
Ja da.
til fyttejakt.
Hoppa ned der.
Det er jo primært da jeg gjør. Da er jeg instruktør. Kurser nye. Det er jo veldig morsomt. Her er det og drømmen.
Some German and you kind of make it out if you do.
Oh, they will hurt you for seeing that.
Know your enemies.
Yeah. So if we could get in and you do one, I'll do one, and between us we'll get 3. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I've been doing translating. It's an interesting task because around what they tend to use here is something called Nynorsk.
Yeah.
Completely different route. Oh, I know. I'm going this way. Excuse me, Bush. I think he heard you.
Jag har gått på det. Men det var så gott att det var jordbär och björnar.
Yeah, made it. Yeah.
My name is Mette Maria. I am the daughter of Magnus Hauge. He was one of the resistance men. He was both Exu and Milorg. And after the reorganization of Milorg in 1944, there was 2 companies, a great company in Os. It was Company 1, led by Jakob Gjelle, and Company 2, led by Magnus Hauge. And he was the one who organized the escape, and he was the one, I think, who got the message further on with identifying the crew as 6 sacks of potatoes. And I hope you will enjoy. I have made potato cakes. I have 54 potato cakes, smaller than that. We call it in Norway, the national cooking, we call it potetlefse. And now will my daughter go around, especially the Canadian, but all, I don't want to carry anything back home. Thank you.
Canadians. Show yourself. No Norwegians.
Raise your hands, Canadians.
I will test the language.
Thank you.
Magnus.
Thank you very much.
Any Canadians?
Yes.
yes. You want to try a special?
Hører dere? Velkommen en gang til. Welcome everybody to Botnahytta. We must take the most of this session in English. Vi tar det meste av dette på engelsk. As an honor for our Canadian 56 guests. So if anybody wonder afterwards, don't understand what I have said, they are very welcome to come and ask me. Yes. This cabin, Botnahytta, standing in Little Canada. Botnahytta is a part of Little Canada. The boys who stayed here for 9 days in '44, they saw this area as was something like the area they came from in Ontario. So therefore they call this Little Canada.
This is nothing like the part of Ontario they came from.
No. But that where did I see the comparison?
I know, that's what they said.
Yeah. Okay. The cabin was built here. I think they started in 1940 to build on it. It was my uncle Frederick Øvredal who rented this place from a neighbor here in 39, and that was not anything written. It was only said. It was a relative of him that owned this place by then. Frederick Øvredal has his three children here today. Finn Øvredal, raise your hand. Marit Øvredal, raise your hand. Arild Øvredal, raise your hand. And the grandchild, André Øvredal, is here today. Yeah, John, yes, grandchild, yes. The cabin was built originally as a hunting lodge. My uncle Frederick was very fond of hunting birds, and he liked very much to hike in the mountains and do stuff like that in the free air. But soon in 1942, 43, my father and Frederick and many others from the district here was seeked by the Germans and Gestapo for things they was doing. So this cabin was very far away from civilization by then. There was no road to Øvredal. There was no road to Rolsvåg. So to come to these places, they had to walk or go by boat. So it was fairly easy to have control over the area and who. It was difficult to come in here without being seen or taken care of. Yes. The thing that happened in 1944, you are very well aware of course, and therefore our Canadian guests are here today. This Wellington plane fell down in Os at Hauland, and that we have celebrated with a very good celebration this weekend. And they were taken from Strøno in Os after they had left the plane. I don't come into that action now. We have talked very much about it these days, and anybody of your Norwegian can read it on Finn Haga's nødlanding if you are interested. They came here in the morning. Early morning of October 1st, they come up from Øvredal with the help of 4 Norwegians. My father, Ivar Dyngeland was here to meet them. Yeah. I will read you what is written from Rick Firestone. He's standing here, about just what happened here then the first morning of the early morning of 1st of October. It was actually morning of the October 1st when the group Helen Mowinckel Nilsen, Jakob Gjelle, Kjell Harmens and Haldor Øvredal reached the cabin. They found Hans waiting here for them. Ivar Dyngeland was a local policeman whose sympathies were with those resisting the occupation, not his superiors, who were doing everything they could to suppress opposition. Ivar had been arrested in an investigation into a fool theft. In fact, he had taken part in, but had managed to convince the arresting officers that he was not involved and was released. Gathering all the files he could on political investigation and others resisting the occupiers, he went into hiding. Milorg gave him shelter and decided that he would stay at the cabin to support the Canadians. Mowinckel Nilsen told the crew to open and empty the backpacks. They found blankets, sleeping bags. Now we are talking about the 6 Canadians coming up from Øvredal. They were wearing their own backpacks, what the things they needed here. And in Øvredal they had got new shoes, new rubber shoes. They had taken away from them the shoes they were landing in. That was high boots with sheep skins inside, so it was hopeless to walk in. So they had gathered old, what we call gummistøvler, shoes from the farms down there to help them. Mowinckel Nilsen told the crew to open and empty the backpacks when they come up here. They found blankets, sleeping bags, plates, pans, vegetables, ersatz coffee, condensed milk and bread. They had carried in the supplies necessary for their stay at the cabin. The bread was half sawdust. Det var halvparten sagamask, and the coffee was all. I didn't what the coffee was. It wasn't coffee, but they presented it as coffee. All these things had come from a number of sources, all taken from meager personal rations and processions of people who supported those resisting the oppression of occupation. Helen explained how secure the cabin was. The arduous hike in that they had made in the dark was one of only 2 routes to it. Milorg had people in place keeping an eye on those routes who were prepared to intervene if necessary. In the same way, their trip through the fjords to the boathouse had been monitored. There were 11 men, most of them fairly large, in the very tiny space of the small cabin the first day. The Milorg leaders had more tasks to work on toward the goal of getting the Canadians out of Norway. Soon Mowinckel Nilsen, Jakob Gjelle, Haldor Øvredal and Lars Kjell headed back down out of the mountains. Ivar Dyngeland stayed to look after the crew, who spread out the sleeping bags and blankets over every horizontal surface in the tiny cabin. Soon they were asleep, able to completely relax, all at the same time for the first time since their dramatic arrival in Norway. Then the boys stayed here for 9 days, until the 9th of October. And they relaxed here, and they were fishing a little bit. They picked the blueberry. They made a chair in here. We have it still here, standing by the biggest chair in here. It's made by the Canadian boys. And the local, there were some local girls, and they made cakes for them. And they were fighting a little bit to getting allowed to get up and visit them, the boys who was in the cabin here. Yes. And they were, and the resistance people told them that that was okay if they kept them out. Yes, so they had some good stuff here to eat and drink from the locals. So when the day came, it was that they should move from here. They asked the Telharmans and the boys here that should follow them if they could stay a few days more, because it was very comfortable to stay here. Yes. Then they went back to Øvredal and was taken to as you all know, to Austevoll and to Kjetlandsåsen, and the whole crew came in one group back to Scotland. After, during the war, else there was the Milorg and Sarborg people that was hunted by the Gestapo and the German used this cabin very often when it was crisis. When they were sieged hard where they live on the farms, hided on the farms, they evacuated up here till things calmed down, and then they went back to the farms they were hiding as normal. That was the main use here. But it was all the time in use from 1943 till the 6th of May in 1945. Yes. After the war, this cabin was used as a hunting lodge, and when I was young, we went up here and stayed here with my father and my family. We have nice recreation time here. Through the 70s and 80s, the use dropped down a bit, and we got a new landowner here in 1982. And that stopped. He was not so interested to have this lodge standing here, so the use and the possibility to hold the cabin good was intervened. It was not so easy for us to do anything. So the condition of the cabin was better and better through the 80s and 90s, and it was very difficult to us to keep it in well shape. In 2012, the community of Samnanger took the cabin into their cultural plan, and one of the Canadians. The Canadian families had visited this cabin here in '66, in 1904, in 2004, in groups, and they came here one by one to visit the cabin. But in 2014, just after the community had taken this cabin into their cultural plan, Herre Diet, one of the grandchildren of the friars, George Diet, he came here with his husband, and we had Bergens Tidende, the local newspaper, with us, and they made a big stake on it. And then everybody could see what it meant for the Canadians, this, and we had it in the cultural plan, and then the ball started rolling. So we were able to get the finances to start to save the cabin. As you know, we have still have a little conflict with the landlord, but I think everything is going in the direction that the cabin will be saved, and it will be standing here for the future. Yes, thank you. Then we have been so happy and honored to have these two guys with us from the 407 Squadron, British Columbia, west coast of Canada. They sent Orion plane over the ceremony in Howland yesterday and gave us a fantastic honor. I have to say first name Patrick. Patrick. He will say some words to us here now. Very welcome.
Thank you very much, Björn. It's very much a historical moment for us and an honor to be here 75 years later and sharing again in the footsteps and the space that our Canadians and our Norwegians, partners and friends, took part together here. And it's an honor for us to be here. One of the things that we do at home in the squadron and in our CAF is we have what we call a camp flag. We fly it wherever we operate. It be at home or abroad when we deploy an airplane, when we deploy our people and they go do the job that they need to do. We bring our camp flag with us and it represents our soul and our heart and the family of the squadron. So today, with Chief Harvey and I, we are pleased to present, Björn, if you want to accept it on behalf of the community, our 407 Squadron camp flag to Little Canada House, which really was where they operated in the midst of World War II, supported by the folks of Oos, Samnanga, the Mill Org, and then later on with the Shetland bus for this time before they came back home. So, Björn, thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick. Yes. We shall have it here in our system and use it.
Thank you.
Okay. Absolutely.
Serge.
Okay. For people who are used to the military, I'm the chief of the squadron, so I'm pretty much the father of those peoples. I'm there to cheer them. I'm also there sometimes to punish them, but I'm there to take care of them. So I'd like to take that little bit of time to thank me, Lord, to take care of my peoples, you know, when I could not. So thank you very much, my Lord, and people.
Thank you. Thank you.
High fives? That's a way.
Hvis det er noen som har lyst til å si noe, noen som har lyst til å bidra med noe, så blir vi veldig, veldig glad
Lots
for
of
det.
power. He's got to work on Zane. Another granola bar?
Good. Did Jane get something?
She's never.
It's